Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your valuable time with the Adapt 2030 channel. Check this structure. No nails, all wood. Record grocery costs, World Food Index increasing. Ukraine farmers are out to fight. They're not planting. Germany factory orders. Second lowest recorded history. Railroad crashes, highest in recorded history. Cell phone activity, San Francisco down. Only 31%. Previous levels means a lot of people left. Homogeneous, cirrus. Can't make it up, or the depletion in the ozone column this early. Runaway event inbound. That'll dovetail into the wettest days on record in Auckland, 7x the previous records, as the world heads toward the boiling point and the cauldron. And something to consider here, no nails were used in the construction of this structure right here. Unbelievable as that sounds, each piece hand carved, 4 years to complete the structure. You know where it's at. The Onion Dome gives a location. Barely repairable as is, and then other structures across time, barely repairable. This will go right into that same category. Wonder how they did all that. With the archaic tools of the time some multi-centuries ago. Fast forward to 1987, 2003, 2021, the obesity rates tripled, which means something's in the food supply since 1987 to now. I wonder what that would be. Speaking of oils, let's stay in the groceries here. Everybody needs oils for cooking. I prefer olive oil myself, but hey, that's just me. Avocado oil will do in a pinch for a salad. The UN Food and Agriculture Food Price Index for the globe, again, reaching all-time record pricing. Remember, there was a pullback, and they're like, yeah, the food crisis is over. Not really. It's going to continue to go up and up as we see more events play out around the world in real time, affecting agriculture, northern and southern hemisphere both. Working families facing the highest cost of living rises in 20 years. Charities warning that increased numbers of households are reaching a crisis point every day with expenses. And then add in off Zero Hedge here, challenging protein market headline. Tyson Foods reports a loss, slashes revenue outlook, and they're also going to slash what? Production. So wherever we look, it's all about the food again. It's like 2.0, 3.0. You know, you thought COVID would have been a wake up for a lot of people, like get ready to grow some of your own food, but it's just more dominoes continue to fall to the point where our complex delivery systems are not going to be as functional as they used to. Now, the amount of choices are going to decrease, but the prices on those choices are going to increase. Choose wisely, choose bulk, and start cooking some of your own food. Just my personal way to make changes to move through this myself. So what I'm doing, I'm just, might work for you, but get some cookbooks from the 1940s and see what kind of easy recipes they are and how few ingredients to make a home-cooked meal that's just solid. And you really feel full at the end of that to get out and do some more tasks, keep your life moving and not get distracted from all the interference pattern that's being thrown out to overwhelm you, to take you to inaction. That's what the overwhelm of news feeds is about at the moment. Don't believe the hype. Because wherever you look, there are contractions going on, and this is a signal for the greater economy here. Obviously, that giant drop middle of 2020 was COVID, and then with the government stimulus, the rebound on German factory orders. This comes from Bundesamt Statistics. And as we look over to the far right where we are present day, it is the second on record lowest amount of German factory orders ever. Morgan Stanley warns commercial real estate is headed for a crisis worse than 2008. It's no longer a black swan, it's a flock of black swans. There's a banking crisis, commercial real estate, de-dollarization, rate hikes, and persistent inflation. BRICS is the hottest ticket in town with an additional 19 countries looking to join and move away from the dollar. Mention the Adapt 2030 channel. You're going to get some first-class service. Patriot Gold Group offers the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver on qualifying rollovers. 888-546-7020. Call to get your free investor guide today. And now on with the video. Really into uncharted territory. I mean, you could go back to World War II when the economy was being restarted in the early 1950s. You might see some, factory. Since that time, that's been, up and up. German engineering, precision. And since we are talking about food, I was sent this also from a Dutch site. Ukrainian farms lose workers, complicating a tough harvest. Well, this is going to be also about the planting. So as you're looking here, some of the Ukrainian farming areas, they're losing up to 10 to 15% of their workforce to head out to the front. It's all about the farm repair and the machinery, the staff shortages, the lack of seed and fertilizer, the increases in all those costs as well. This year is going to be a very dented year for Ukrainian production, one of the breadbaskets of our planet. So get ready. Just alone, that could affect food prices as it has over the last year and a half. But if we look at the dollar, it's all on the lips of everybody. Dollar, dollar, dollar. Default, default, default. Well, if we're just following longer trends in the 50 years, definitely the US dollar and the United States in general is going into a bear market or contraction. And you can see the other ones that have happened right at the turn of the century there. 1999 crested over, and then if we get down into the 80s again when we had exceptionally high oil prices. And here's something also about the possibilities. The U.S. probably not going to default. They're going to continue to service the Treasury bill debt, obligations to foreigners and those holding T-bills, corporations, etc. The austerity will come to the American people, where the Social Security payments will be cut or not delivered. But like I say, the interest payments, so non-default, those funds will be allotted to that sector. But here back at home, the austerity will come. I encourage you to look at Greece, Cyprus as the latest to see what we might be in for coming up. And they'll just say, well, it's too bad. We can't default. Everybody's got to take a haircut. Oh, wait, I shaved my head. What kind of haircut is that? Because the world has been just continuously overchoked with garbage from factories and corporations telling us to buy more, extra ad campaigns to get us to consume more for every single month of the year. What about Mother's Day just passed? It's another consuming holiday. Father's Day is right around the corner. Then we got Memorial Day. Then we got Christmas and Thanksgiving, and buy more, buy two, buy three. And look at all the garbage and plastics left over. That's not me with a factory. And it's too bad that a riverways look this way. It's shocking and appalling is what it is. And speaking of railroad incidents involving plastics, well, that was the derailment, Ohio, Palestine. But the crashes and accidents, look at the amount of these going up. Now, these are news stories that are covering said events. And then derailments themselves, that's the orange line. They're splitting a hair, but I see how it is. Could have run into something that's on the tracks, didn't make it across, crossbars came down on that. Okay, that's different than a derailment. But you can't tell me that nobody's paying attention. It's so far out of the averages. It's a stunning 2018, another peak. What is it with the peaks? Like 14, 15, beginning 17, 18, January, and then whoosh, this is so far beyond anything. So what's happening? And I will bring you over to another category that's now being followed by Train Point, bridge failures, meaning a part of the bridge has ripped away from the banks. Now, for me, that's crustal displacement. That's some sort of global liquefaction event in slow motion beginning as magnetic activity across our solar system seems to be, changing. So I'm wondering how much of this is truly disrepair or sabotage and how much of it is from magnetic fields changing and the top 1 or 2 miles of our crust behaving differently, pulling, tugging. Let's take a look at the weather report. What do we see? Tic-tac-toe skies for the morning, slowly blending into a haze by the afternoon. This is called homogeneous cirrus. I kid you not, it's in the news reports now. Homogeneous cirrus. Tic-tac-toe pattern, man-made clouds. Speaking of clouds, more ozone in the column here. As I've been following since the Hunga Tonga eruption, the mesospheric ice crystal clouds and the breakdown of ozone some tens of thousands of times more ice crystal clouds in the mesosphere than normal. So we would expect a very early runaway ozone depletion event. And here we look, 2021 on the right, the column, the yellows, the greens, the reds, the pinks mean an enormous amount of ozone. You'll see the reds and pinks in the Northern Hemisphere ozone watch maps. But if we look on the left, 2023, what is happening here? I see 5 different areas across the column, and that's exactly what happened last year at the end of October. They did not fill in until months after. This will affect fish life. This will affect the crops in the Southern Hemisphere. And also, because of the massive amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, I'm always looking for evidence that can paint a wider picture. Here we go. This was from the beginning of the year in 2023. That adds on to show that there was so much extra water vapor in the atmosphere, and this mesospheric ice crystal cloud phenomena is inbound and ongoing. 7.6, almost 7.7 times more rainfall in January for Auckland. And I thought, they've had much larger floods than that. They got a summer's worth of rain in one single day, and then I finally pulled the chart for it. It's about 5 times higher than anything previously recorded, which gives some credence that, there are changes happening in the atmosphere. And being in Auckland, just skip over to Tassie, Port Arthur. Look at this lithograph, 1891. And a look at the same island, 2022. I'll let your eyes be the judge of that. Stunning offshore island. Do you think it's going to disappear? And see, I'm trying to taper all these things together. The economy is a direct result of the food pricing and the inflation, because you just can't have people paying 3 times for their food and have no effect on the greater economy where people are spending. Now, this is going to continue to ramp up, in my opinion, here with the ozone depletion event, as well as all the other things we're seeing with non-planting in Ukraine. We got the drought up the middle of the central growth belt for wheat here in the U.S. A lot less planting going to occur for wheat this year. It's just a lot of places you're looking around the world, the food's not going to be as forthcoming. You can mask it for a while, which has been the point. Now the distractions come in. So whatever way you look at it, this ozone depletion event is going to be the world's largest news story at the end of the year. Give it till September, and you'll say, hey, I heard this guy talking about that many months ago. Yeah, well, you could have forecast that after the Hungatonga eruption, knowing about the ice crystal clouds and how ozone breaks down with chlorine or bromine on an ice crystal surface. I do appreciate you watching. Remember, food's going to be the integral thing. You might want to think about long-term storable foods during those times. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030 3-month emergency food supply, as well as TrueLeafMarket.com, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. It is still planting season, because this will be one of the most valuable skills you can cultivate through your lifetime, learning how to grow food. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.